If you've been trying everything to rebuild the connection in your relationship, talking it out, reading books, scrolling social media, and suggesting couples therapy, but somehow nothing sticks, and it feels like you're living with a stranger or a roommate at this point, or you're starting to wonder if maybe love is just supposed to fade. It's not. Today, I'm going to show you why it's happening and exactly how to fix it. Most women think the only way to see progress in their relationship or improvements is with therapy. And therapy can absolutely help, but it's not the only way. So if your husband is like mine was and doesn't want to go, I can assure you that it's not hopeless. Hey, gorgeous, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Mireille Nicole, holistic relationship coach and creator of the Happily Ever After method. On this channel, I cover all things love with some non-toxic living and healthy eating thrown in there because your relationship health is part of your overall wellness and vice versa. So I hope you'll stick around. And in today's training, I'm going to share with you the exact process I use to bring my relationship back from "is it over?" to even better than the honeymoon phase. Now, before we dive in, I made something to help you speed up the process. It's my free relationship success checklist, 25 daily actions that you can take to rebuild closeness and emotional safety in as little as a couple of weeks. Grab it at the link below in the description or the pinned comment. Whether you're married, in a relationship, or dating and praying for something real, what I'm about to show you is how to create emotional safety, real partnership, and long-term connection without begging him to go to therapy or trying to convince him to change. Now, let me quickly share a personal story with you. About 7.5 years ago, my relationship was a total mess, and it felt like everything was falling apart. Like it felt like a roller coaster. Lots of ups and downs. We basically couldn't go one day without arguing. He was distancing himself and I wasn't getting what I needed. And it definitely wasn't that dream I had as a little girl. I was scared and I was lost, and I was sure he was the problem. Now, let me offer you a little reality check right here off the bat. You're not going to feel perfect, show up better, communicate more effectively, and resolve every conflict overnight, even with this method I'm going to teach you today. And that's okay. You're not supposed to. This is about growth and transformation. It's a beautiful and totally gratifying journey to a stronger bond as a couple. And you have to get there. And just like everything else in life that is worth pursuing, it takes time and it does take some effort. But my Happily Ever After method helps you fast track that. When my relationship hit rock bottom, I just wanted to stop feeling so angry all the time. I wanted to feel connected again and no longer preoccupied about the future of our relationship. Back then, I never imagined that I would end up here, feeling secure and confident in love, feeling desired and feeling like myself again. And I never imagined that I'd be here helping other women like you do the same. And I know some of you can relate to that. Some of you are in that place too, where every single day feels like you're just trying not to get into a fight. You're wishing you could just express how you feel and not be met with defensiveness. You want to feel chosen again, not like roommate, and you don't want to be questioning or doubting your relationship anymore. So if that's you, I see you and I get it. And once I learned this process, everything changed. He relaxed, I softened, and within weeks, we were reconnecting. Within months, we were stronger than ever. And today, over 11.5 years later, we are still back in the honeymoon phase, but wiser, grounded, and more in love than ever. And that's what I want for you. For a long time, I thought, I've tried everything. Why is nothing working? And I felt alone and I felt hopeless. Everyone else on Instagram looked so in love. And I wish someone would have just taken my hand and said, here's the exact process or the exact path to rebuild your relationship, and I'll walk it with you. And that's literally why I created this method. For me, 7.5 years ago, and for you. Let me introduce you to Mireille. When Mireille came to me, her marriage was basically roommates with kids. Physical intimacy was practically gone. She felt rejected. He shut down if she tried to talk. In her own words, she wondered, what's wrong with me? And also, what's wrong with him? What she was really craving wasn't just sex, it was emotional connection, safety, tenderness. So we started working her through the pillars, the 4 pillars of my happily ever after method. So especially the ones related to emotional regulation and softer communication. And she immediately saw where her own energy had gone into fix-it mode, chase mode, and masculine energy. Once she shifted this, he relaxed. And within a couple of weeks, he was the one opening up and making flirtatious jokes. And within a month, he initiated a 2-hour-long heart-to-heart conversation on his own. 13 years together, and for the first time, he asked, what can I do to support you? So I'm here to share with you something I call the happily ever after method. And it's the most powerful decision you can make for your love life today. Women tell me all the time, this was the missing piece. Because here's what happens when you apply it. You go from a distant, a shut down partner, feeling insecure and walking on eggshells, feeling ignored or unloved and unloved, to feeling cherished again, to feeling confident and playful in your relationship. You feel like a team again. You feel desired, and you start to see him become more emotionally available and communicative and supportive. Basically, you get your happily ever after, which is why I named the method your happily ever after method, but the grown woman version, right? Like not the fairy tale fake Disney version. And no, it doesn't have to look like endless therapy sessions or reading 20 more relationship books or spending another 6 months scrolling TikTok videos at 2 a.m. When you focus on these 4 pillars, you protect your happiness, your emotional well-being, and your future together. You protect yourself from settling. And honestly, you protect yourself from the cost of heartbreak, separation, or divorce, which can be like anywhere from 15 to 20K financially and way more emotionally. Okay, let's talk about the 4 pillars of the happily ever after method. This is the heart of the training today. And these are the pillars that we build and practice inside my private coaching and in my program, Committed. Now, pillar number 1 is emotional leadership. This is brand new to version 2.0 of my happily ever after method because it is that essential. This is where transformation begins. Being an emotional authority means you lead your relationship through your calm instead of your chaos. It's not about never getting triggered anymore or never being in a bad mood and fake positivity. It's about becoming the woman who can feel deeply without losing herself in it. It's being able to say, I can feel hurt, scared, and angry and still respond with intention instead of attack. Because here's the truth. You can't connect through fear. You can't connect through resentment. You can't rebuild love through guilt. You have to create safety first. So this pillar is about expanding your emotional awareness, and you learn to feel and heal, and you can flow towards choosing the next loving action for you and the relationship without getting hijacked by your emotions. And when you master this, everything else feels easier. I noticed that when I didn't have this pillar as number 1 before the other 3, women were struggling implementing the tools and the techniques I was sharing because their emotions were getting a hold of them and just completely veering them off track and getting the best of them. So your emotional strength, leadership, and authority is pivotal and number 1 to rebuilding the connection and the love in your relationship. Okay, pillar number 2, energy, energetic. So this is where attraction lives. Your energy communicates louder than your words. Men can't always decode paragraphs of emotion or read your mind, but they 100% feel your vibe. So energetics is about your presence, your energy, your feminine magnetism, because no matter how loving your words are, if your energy feels controlling, tense, desperate, just off, right? He'll subconsciously notice that, feel that, and pull away. So this is about shifting from chase, pressure, prove, correcting things to back into your feminine magnetism, your safety, your softness. Masculine energy wants to move forwards to what feels good, what feels better and safe. So you need to become what I like to call the better offer, to flirt with life, to play, to stop chasing and start receiving. This pillar is where you get out of overfunctioning and back into being cherished. When your energy shifts, your relationship follows. Okay, pillar three. Pillar three is communication. Most women think they need to talk more for better communication, or a lot of women think they're communicating just fine in the relationship because they talk a lot, they have a lot of conversations. But if you're not getting the results you want in your relationship, if it's not where it desires to be, or, in the dating world is just not clicking with men, there is a communication issue. And the truth is, you need to communicate differently. So this pillar is all about learning to express what you need in a way that inspires him to want to meet that need. It's about replacing defensiveness with clarity, criticism with invitation, and nagging with emotional honesty. When you master this, you can say something simple like, "Babe, I'd love your help with dinner tonight." And he actually wants to help. He won't just keep scrolling on his phone because your tone, your presence feels like partnership and not pressure. And this pillar is also where boundaries come in. So healthy communication means knowing your limits, honoring them without attack, and standing firm without losing your softness and your magnetism. And when you communicate like this, he stops hearing a demand. He stops feeling defensive or hearing criticism, and he starts feeling a desire to show up for you and to step up. That's the magic of feminine communication, clarity with compassion. And finally, pillar number 4, harmony. This is all about conflict, where conflict can't destroy the relationship. It's learning how to argue without tearing each other down, how to cool a fight before it explodes, and how to reconnect after. That's the most important part. This pillar is where long-term love lives. And harmony isn't about never arguing. It's about learning how to argue well, how to fight smarter. One of my favorite memes out there on the interwebs is the one of the old couple with the caption that says, "Imagine how many times they've had to forgive each other." Right? That's so powerful and so true. It's understanding that conflict isn't the end, it's an opportunity to deepen your connection together. Because when there's harmony, your relationship becomes emotionally safe, and that's how it grows. Let me tell you about Stephanie. So she was overwhelmed, not being heard. Her husband was always buried in his work, and intimacy and date nights basically disappeared. And after applying some of the concepts from these pillars, within 1 month, she was already seeing him respond differently, being more present and supportive. Sometimes the shifts are fast because men respond to safety and clarity more than pressure and anxiety. So if you felt like it hasn't worked in the past, you've probably just haven't had the right approach. But hey, if you're struggling right now, I want you to know it's not your fault, right? That's not your fault. We're usually not taught communication or relationship skills growing up, right? Most of us haven't had role models demonstrating a healthy relationship, not because we had bad parents. We could have had great parents, but they didn't know either. So if you're only getting well-meaning advice from them or friends, or maybe it's your social media feed that's probably full, I'd say, of misleading quotes and memes, I totally get it, but I invite you to stop. Stop that today. And here's what you get to do once you choose this path, right? You stop begging for couples therapy he doesn't want. You actually see progress in the relationship. You don't have to read more books hoping to find that quick fix, because there is none. And you can stop crowdsourcing advice from friends who mean well but don't actually get it. And you can stop guessing. And especially, finally, you can stop feeling like you're the only one trying, and actually losing more time too. Because I take the most effective research-backed strategies and real-world tools, and I walk you through them step by step. Now meet Jillian. Jillian and her husband were arguing constantly. It went from 0 to screaming and then silence and walking on eggshells. Now we broke down what actually happens in those first few minutes of a fight, and I gave her tools to pause, to de-escalate, and to repair after. And within 5 weeks, yes, only 5, they still argued, right? But the arguments ended with apologies, with more softness and reconnection instead of emotional shutdown. Now that's harmony, and that's what we're building today as part of the method. Now, who does the happily ever after method work for? Well, women who are married and feel disconnected from their husband. They want to rebuild that emotional bond. It also works for women who are in long-term relationships and partnerships and feel like they're one fight away from ending it. Women who are dating, tired of emotionally unavailable men and ready to attract the real thing instead of the almost. Second chance love stories, high achieving women who are incredible in every other part of their lives, but are quietly struggling in love. So here's what I'd love for you to do next. Number 1, download my free relationship success checklist. It's below. Start using it this week and start noticing progress really fast. Number 2, if what I've shared today feels aligned, if you're like, yes, this is exactly what I've been missing, this is what I need, then your next step is to either apply for private coaching with me or get on the waitlist for my program Committed. Committed is where we go pillar by pillar, week by week, until your relationship feels safe, connected, and alive again. But if you're more of a private, one-on-one kind of woman, apply for coaching. If you're craving sisterhood and shared transformation, get on the Committed waitlist. Both links are going to be in the description below. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching this and for being honest with yourself about where things are right now. That's not an easy thing to do. This is a brave conversation, and most women never have it. If anything I shared today resonates with you, book a quick discovery call with me using the link below. I'll help you understand exactly what's keeping you stuck and what to focus on first. And even if we don't work together right now, you will leave that call with next steps. I can't wait to help you create your own happily ever after.